But look
Thank
at
you.
what Harikrishna's game has reached to. I mean, unbelievably, many of the moves have been made on the board, and we want to quickly have a look at what transpired. So, when B5 was played by MVL, Harikrishna played A4, Bishop B7, and then take on B5, take on B5, take on A8, Queen A8, and now he took a pawn on B5 and Bishop E4. Now you would imagine that White would actually save his knight here on B1 because it's attacked. But look at what Harikrishna did. He played D4 and he gave up this piece.
Oh, he's given a piece?
Yes.
It's a preparation. It has to be, I mean, of course, yeah.
This is,
Is he recovering?
He has, I mean, this line has been played before, I guess. Soumya,
Yeah.
do you know about this? Have you seen this before?
I haven't seen this exact piece sack, but I have seen like this line is very sharp, right? So I don't know the exact theory in this line
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't play it from either side.
Yeah.
But that's not an excuse, but okay, I don't know the theory. But I'm sure that it's all preparation.
Yeah, there are
That
already
much
a lot
I'm
of
sure
games
about.
played
Yeah.
in this position after Bishop B1.
Yeah, so let's say he took here, MVL said, okay, free piece, I'm going to take it. And then Harikrishna took the pawn on C5. And basically, he's making use of this pin here. And imagine that black recaptures the pawn on C5. Then already after knight to E5, this looks very dangerous because you see E5, this pin is becoming very, very
So the whole thing is about the D7 knight, yeah? And maybe some discovered on B1 bishop.
Yeah, like for example, if you go to Bishop F5 back,
Bishop G5.
then I'll go Bishop G5, removing one of the defenders. If you try to protect it further, I'll go and attack it once more. It seems like this famous game of Morphy versus Duke of Brunswick, you know, in which the D7 piece was pinned. And so here, this leads to a completely lost position for black. So that is why MVL said, okay, if you took a pawn, I'm going to come back to E4. I'll save it. I want to break this pin. And Harikrishna says, I'm going to attack your bishop. E6. Because if you go back bishop C6, then already there are many ways, but knight D4 seems like a very strong idea. And then if you take, I take with my knight, threatening knight D6 and knight C7. And I think black is almost lost here, like has a very bad position. So E6, what? Rook takes E4?
Yeah.
Amazing chess. I think
I want to just tell you that there has been a game between Muzichuk and Harika where Harika was black, and this is also happened. So this is still preparation.
all theory. Wow. So basically, Hari wants to push his pawn to C6, but the bishop controls it. So Hari says, okay, I'm going to sack one more piece here. Rook queen takes, and now he's a complete rook down, guys. Rook down. Look at this. This is an extra rook for black. Completely extra rook. Pushes the pawn, and here is a funny line. Like, let's say you go knight to C5 in this position. Then I'll go C7, and I already get a new queen on the board.
Yeah.
Wow, on move number 17, getting a new queen on the board is amazing. Soumya, this is tremendous.
It's beautiful. And I'm looking at some like options for black. Like let's say after C6, black goes knight B6. Then perhaps we can go C7.
Yeah.
And for king E7 or knight of D7, either of them, we go bishop E3. I mean, it's, I think black will play king E7 and not knight of
king
D7.
D7,
So
bishop E3 and
bishop
maybe
E3.
knight of D5.
Yeah, knight of D5. Yeah.
Good for black. So instead of bishop E3, perhaps knight D4 might be very strong.
Yeah, so knight D4 was, another move because the bishop on F8, even though it's an extra, like the rook on H8 basically is an extra rook, but the bishop on F8 cannot be developed. So the rook on H8 also is like sleeping. And I mean, the king on E7 is such a pity. Yeah? After knight D4, I don't know what does he do.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very difficult position to play as black, and this is a great example of how, in spite of having material, It is all about how many pieces are in the play. And for right now, white has much better pieces in the position than black. And so black is in trouble here. But it didn't happen. MVL realized the dangers and said, I'm going bishop e7 and quickly castling. Harikrishna can now take on d7 already. But he's like, that's my piece. I'm first attacking your queen. And MVL plays queen to d5. Then Hari actually took on d7, knight d7 and queen a4, attacking the knight on d7, putting more pressure, queen b7, and now he's not letting black castle. So he's exchanged down, but his compensation lies in the fact that this knight is pinned.
So if black castles and he goes into 2 pieces versus rook endgame, that wouldn't be good.
Sorry, for example, now it's white to play. But if let's say I go knight c4,
f3.
okay,
Knight c4.
maybe knight f3, let's see. Knight f3, then after castles,
Bishop.
then
bar
you
drops.
take bishop d7, and this is winning for white because he has 2 pieces for a rook, and also this b pawn is a passer. So I believe that white will win this quite easily.
Yeah, mainly the A open file, the rook cannot come on A8. That is also
True.
So why is knight f3
Yeah.
not favored by the
Yeah.
engine? Because the bar suddenly dropped. Maybe king, like
King
What is-
d8
Oh
is
my
what
God.
maybe
could be the
yeah,
idea.
king d8. Yeah, but then why doesn't it work for knight c4? I was wondering.
Yeah, let's see. If knight c4, king d8, and now we have perhaps
bishop.
Bishop to e3, bishop to e3, perhaps. Yeah.
yeah,
And this because of the knight on c4, the queen is like the king and the queen are.
this knight is actually more effective
I mean
than
on
on
F3
f3.
it's not doing anything. Maybe just
Yeah,
something.
it doesn't threaten anything. Correct.
Yeah. So that's why here it's much better to put the knight on c4, and this is what we have, and see what happened. Oh, by the way, guys, it's a
So
draw.
that, yeah, it's
Oh,
a
it's a
perpetual.
perpetual. What
Yeah.
happened for knight c4? He played knight c4.
Yeah, he played knight c4.
Played d5.
d5, knight e5, take on e5, takes, king d8, check, takes, check, back. Okay, what happens if I go
yeah.
to d6?
Is it b3 or something or g?
No,
queen
just-
e1 is
Bishop
the...
f4, no?
Yeah, bishop f4.
Bishop f4.
Pins and wins.
Oh, directly you win.
And if you go to c7,
Same.
And so you have no
You
other
cannot go
square.
on that diagonal.
You can go to c8, by the way.
Yes.
But I'll go queen a6. And when you go to d8, I'll go check. When you come to c7, I'll go queen a7. I will not let you, when you go to d8, I'll go queen a8.
But what happens for king c8, queen 8, queen b8?
No, I'm going. That's why I'm giving check from a6.
No.
Remember.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's
You're
very
not
important
getting
to
a-
give the
if
check
I go
from
here,
this.
Yes,
then you
queen
win.
b8 is there. Yeah, you're not
But I'm giving check.
giving
So
a check on a8.
I would say a very interesting game, but from a practical or objective perspective, I would say not the best result for Harikrishna, because he really did not put any pressure on MVL, and I think MVL was well prepared in this game, and it was a draw. Just overall, White didn't have too many chances.
But it's a good line to choose for a rapid game in case your opponent, to catch your opponent in your preparation, because it's so sharp and you absolutely need to remember what to do as black.
Yeah, as Ankit Raj in the chat rightly points out, problem of sharp lines if played properly by both sides is that it's usually a draw. Yeah, that's the thing.